Welcome everyone to this reading part 2, Applying a Diagram Analysis. And I'm here in the reading part 2 section of the CELPIP Library. And before we get started, I do want to remind you that reading part 2 focuses more on CLB 4 to 6. What does that mean? Well, it means that if you need to get 4 to 6, then you should do well in this part. What does well mean? Well, you should get 4, 5, or 6 correct, okay? And also in reading part 1, okay? Because this part is not so complicated like part 3 or 4 and lower levels. You should be familiar with some of the English language in reading part 2. Okay? So we need to focus on this part. For CLB 7 or higher, this part should be much easier for you. And usually CLB 7 or higher, they get everything correct in this part because it's not so difficult for you. So CLB 7 or higher, you should get everything correct in this part. Okay? That's what it means that this part focuses more on CLB 4 to 6. Okay. Also, I do want to remind you that we have this excellent Reading Part 2 Tips and Strategies video. You can find that video in our Reading Part 2 playlist, as well as in the description box. And this video will give you some tips and strategies about what you should focus on when you're doing Reading Part 2, what information to collect, and how to answer the questions better. Okay? So please watch that video to get some of those tips and strategies. Now, for today, we are going to do a sample from volume 10. Healthy eating. Well, sounds very interesting. Okay, so let's get started. Now, everyone, I do want to remind you that we are going to do this analysis together. So I'm going to be reading together with you, and I'm going to be giving you a chance to answer the questions before I explain the answer. Okay? In this way, it will be very beneficial for you, and you can develop your reading and comprehension skills along with me. Okay? So please do follow along until the end, okay? So let's get started. Now we don't have time here, but reading part 2 is usually 9 minutes, okay? And so we're going to analyze together. We're going to use time and we're going to try to understand the questions together. Now I'm going to zoom in here so we can read better, okay? There we go. So we have our diagram on the left and we have our email on the right, as it will be in the real exam, okay? So, and then it says here questions 1 to 5. Questions 1 to 5. It says these questions usually connect to the diagram better, okay? All right. So let's read. It says subject, health cake to Paul from Susie. Okay. Susiekins. Okay, let's see. How's it going, Paul? Same old for me. Same old, same old. That means everything's normal. Except, but I'm feeling a little excited about our new one. Okay, so we should read a little bit more. So while I was surfing the net, I came across this diet plan from the Harvard website. Okay, there we go. So we need to complete it here. Our answer choices are at the bottom. So let's look here. Food shopping list, health conscious lifestyle, choice to eat more carelessly, participation in the eating study. So excited about our new what? So it has to be something about this as healthy eating plate. And here it says only I found this on the Harvard website. So what is this related? I'm excited. I'm feeling excited about our new. Well, it's not a shopping list, right? Doesn't look like it's a shopping list. Health conscious lifestyle, choice to eat more carelessly. Now, participation in the eating study. So it has to be something, this question has to be related to I came across this on the Harvard website. So I'm excited about our new something, which is related to this. It's not a shopping list, okay? It also doesn't look like participation in a study, okay? So this here, it's either health conscious lifestyle or choice to eat more carelessly. Okay, it's not C because carelessly means I don't care about what I'm eating, but it says healthy eating. So it should be I care about what I'm eating. So the answer is B because that's what health conscious means. Health conscious means you think about what you're eating and you're trying to eat healthy. You are health conscious. You're thinking about being healthy, and living lifestyle means how you live. So I'm excited about our new health conscious lifestyle. So there looks like they've decided to eat healthy, so live a new lifestyle. So then they came across or found this on the Harvard website. Okay, looks pretty good to me. Okay, I like what I see here. But I'm not a big fan. I don't like the vegetable plate ideas. 2. But if it means staying healthy, no problem. Mhm. So it's talking about the vegetable plate ideas. So let's read that. I'm going to zoom in here to read it better. The more veggies and the greater the variety, the better. Potatoes and French fries don't count. So what could that mean for this one? So let's look at the options. I'm not a fan of the vegetable plate. So I don't like the vegetable plates. Why not? Because I love eating greens already? Because vegetables are not healthy? Since I love eating fries? Since I don't eat potatoes? So I'm not a fan of the vegetables. So it's not A, right? I'm not a fan because, and also they don't eat many vegetables. So it shouldn't be I love eating greens. I'm not a fan because vegetables are not healthy? No, right? Vegetables, that's not the reason. It's not true that vegetables are not healthy. Vegetables are healthy, so not B. So I'm not a fan since I love eating fries or since I don't eat potatoes. Potatoes and French fries don't count. So then the answer is not D, because potatoes don't count means you they're not really vegetables, but I don't eat potatoes is not a negative here. So I'm not a fan because I love eating fries. So I'm not a fan of the vegetable plate idea since I love eating fries. But if it means staying healthy, no problem. Or no problem. Short. Okay, so that's what that one meant there, okay? All right. Next, I've already started to drink more water and juice and have no problems. So this one here is talking about water. I've already started to drink more water and juice and have no problems. 3. So let's look at what it says about water here. Water. Drink water, tea, or coffee with little or no sugar. Limit milk, dairy, 1 to 2 servings per day, and juice, 1 small glass per day. Avoid sugary drinks. Avoid. Don't drink. Okay. So let's see. Kicking the Coke habit, drinking more cola, drinking more milk and tea, limiting the amount of tea I drink. So why that one? Again, let's read the question. I've already started to drink more water and juice and have no problems. So I can do it. And have no problems. Well, it's not the limiting means not drinking or reducing or drinking less. But here it says drink more tea. Okay. So not limiting. Drinking more milk and coffee, also not, because it says limit milk. Don't drink milk. But here it says drink more. Drinking more cola, also not the answer, because drinking more cola or Coke or soda, it's got lots of sugar. And here it says avoid sugary drinks. Don't drink them. Okay? So the answer is kicking the Coke habit. Oh, interesting. Now, Coke, I said, is cola, and kicking the habit means quitting, stopping. Kick the habit. Stop doing it. So, kicking the Coke habit. I've already started to drink more water and juice and have no problems kicking the Coke habit. Exactly. Okay? So let's continue. About our protein, so protein here. I hope you don't eat 4 because that's going to have to be replaced with anything except steak. So I hope you don't something. I hope you don't, because we're going to have to replace it or change it with anything but not steak. So I hope you don't eat. Let's see what the answer choices are. Nuts and beans, cheese and poultry, fish and bacon, a lot of red meat. So now let's look what it says here in the healthy protein. Choose fish, poultry, beans, and nuts. Limit red meat and cheese. Avoid bacon, cold cuts, and other processed meats. So then, well, I hope you don't, it says here, I hope you don't eat, because that's going to have to be replaced. So I hope you don't eat, well, it's not A, right? Because it says here, choose beans and nuts. So eat more. Also, it's not B, because it says choose more fish and poultry. And the same reason it's not C, because fish. So the right answer is D. I hope you don't eat a lot of red meat. I hope you don't eat a lot of red meat, because that's going to have to be replaced with anything except steak. Very interesting. Okay. So you can't eat much red meat or steak. All right. Next, I usually try not to eat anything that's processed already, so it's not going to be difficult for me. Okay, so no problems here. Lastly, I'm so happy that I can still choose to eat as much bread and pasta as I want. 5. Bread and pasta as much as I want. 5. It's got to be about whole grains. Let's look at the answers. As long as it remains whole grain, except if it's whole grain pasta, because it's what we should eat the most, since we have a variety of whole grains. What does it say over here? Eat a variety of whole grains, like whole wheat bread, whole grain pasta, and brown rice. Limit refined grains, like white rice and white bread. Okay. So then, I'm so happy that I can still choose to eat as much bread and pasta as I want. Well, it's not B, right? Because except or but if it's not whole grain, here it says it should be whole grain. Okay? Also, it's not C, because it's what we should eat the most. But according to this, it's vegetables the most. Okay? So not C. And as long as it remains whole grain, since we have a variety of whole grains, so it's not D, right? It doesn't say since we have, it says since eat a variety of whole grains, like, for example, bread and pasta. So not we don't know if we have a variety. It says we should eat. So not D. And so the answer is A. And As long as means only if. Only if. So it says here, I'm so happy that I can still choose to eat as much bread and pasta as I want, as long as, only if, it says here, whole grain, okay? Very good. Okay, last part. Anyway, I think it'll be great for both of us to start this diet as soon as possible. So she wants to start. Not only is eating healthy good for our physical body, so good for our health, our body, but I was reading that it's the best way to stay mentally healthy as well. It's true. Staying mentally healthy by eating well. So at the end of this diet, we'll feel fit and ready for anything, and we'll be confident enough to achieve it. So let's do it. Well, this sounds very positive. I want to start this healthy eating plate myself. Okay, so Susie is feeling confident about this new diet plan. Very interesting. So now let's look at question 628, which is about the email. Susie and Paul have suddenly decided to exercise more, want to let go of negative eating habits, have been thinking about losing weight, have always been health conscious. What do you think? Well, it's not A because it's not really about exercise. It's about eating, right? Also, it's not D because they have always been. No, they want to start being healthy or health conscious, thinking about being healthy, okay? And also, it's not C because they don't talk about losing weight, okay? Now, don't confuse I'm going on a diet to lose weight. Diet to lose weight is one thing. What is your diet means what do you eat? Okay? So here, they're not talking about losing weight. They're talking about changing their diet, changing how they eat. And that's why the answer is B, because they want to not eat badly anymore. They want to change that. Okay? So B. 7. The healthy eating plate indicates or shows that eating healthy requires balancing your meals. Protein and whole grains are the most essential. Vegetables and fruits should be eaten more often. Water and oils should be consumed the least. So, what do you think? Well, it's not D. I don't think it's D. Consumed means taken or drank or eaten. And this here it's about drinking. And it's not really telling us that it's the least, really. It's just telling us what to do or what when you use healthy oils, these type, about drinking these types. So water and oil, it's giving us information, but not that they should be eating the least, okay? Or consumed the least. And if we have to choose about the least, maybe fruits, but I don't think it's telling us that either. Okay? So not D, the least. Also, it's also not vegetables and fruits should be eaten more often. Again, it's not really saying which one we should eat more often. Just says eat plenty of fruits of all colors. Now, if we do think about this here in terms of size, if we do compare it that way, it says vegetables and fruits this side and whole grains and healthy protein this side. So it is the same, not this one is less than this one. But I do think it's not telling us which ones we should eat more often, but just what we should eat or how we should eat it. Okay? Or what kind we should eat. So it's not C. And also not B. Protein and whole grains are the most essential for the same reason as C and D. It doesn't say that these ones are the most essential. It says eat a variety and it says choose this. Doesn't say that they are the most essential. And also, this is the same size as this. So I don't think that this one is larger than this one. But I do see the answer for A. Eating healthy requires balancing or having a little bit of everything, balancing your meals. So eating something from everything, and that's what the plate shows us. We need some vegetables, some fruits, some whole grains, some protein, some water, some healthy oils. That's what it's telling us. Okay? Number 8, Susie thinks losing weight requires following this plan. It'll be harder rather than easier to stick to this plan. Mental well being is more important than physical. Healthy eating promotes overall well being. So it's not A, right? Because it's not about losing weight. Again, she mentioned fit and diet, but it's about eating. So it's not A. Also, it's not B, right? Harder rather than easier, harder instead of easier or more than easier. To stick to follow, to do. And she didn't mention that in the end. She said, I'm confident. Okay, so let's do it. She doesn't say it's difficult. And also, start this new diet plan as soon as possible. And I think the key is right here. Not only is eating healthy good for our physical bodies, but I was reading that it's the best way to stay mentally healthy as well. So it's good for our health. Okay, so also it's not C. Mental well being is more important than physical. So she didn't say mental well being is more important than physical health. Okay, she said both eating or following this plan is the best way to stay mentally healthy as well, also. So then, the answer is D. Healthy eating promotes, supports, or helps overall well-being. Overall well-being means physical and mental health. Okay? That's what she says in the end there. All right? Good for our mental health as well. Okay, everyone. Well, I think we got it all over here. How did you do? Well, everyone, I hope you did 8 from 8 like we did together. We did it together. So, everyone, it's very important to understand the answers, why they are the answers, and why they are not the answers. It explains here in the end, okay? This is a very good tool for us to practice. To practice, we need to practice by the way that we analyzed. We need to understand, why is it not A, C, or D? Why is the answer B? We need to understand that. And the more that you can do that, the more comprehensive skills you will have. Okay? And also, let's practice reading the reading. This is the kind of language that is in part 2. And we need to try to understand this expression and sentence structure and vocabulary. Okay? So for that, everyone, I'm going to be leaving a link in the description box. And that link will link you to practice this reading on your own. Same reading, but different questions, okay, everyone? Different answers, different parts, okay? So it's very good practice for you, everyone. And also, let's not forget about our CELPIP library. Our CELPIP library has over 50, 60 examples of reading part 2, okay? So, and also listening, all the parts, all reading parts, writing parts, speaking parts, all of them. So at the bottom of the link, you will find a link to purchase a library pass. And with discount code CELPIP79, you can get a 3-month subscription for $10.99. Great deal, everyone, for current and past CELPIP exams and more CELPIP material. Everyone, let's remember, practice makes perfect.